Welcome back, Patriots, for a Friday episode of the Bald Brad Show. Heck, it is officially August 23rd. The DNC is over. We made it through that black cloud. Terrible. Folks, the amount of lies, I've actually never seen anything like it. Like, the 4 days of that cult fest taking place where they just spewed nothing but nonsense, and the thousands in the building were just eating it up like, oh, it's pure truth. This is great. Get off the Kool-Aid, Democrats. If you guys were going to fix things, you would have done so already. Hell, you've been in office 12 of the last 16 years. How much more time do you need? I see y'all over there, Patriots. 1776 Weaver, the first chat message over at Rumble. We got Gavin, Pat's over there, PT302, Krager, Karen Catmom, Inappropriate Kitten. I feel like there's a story behind that name. Troy, Take America Back. Jason's here. Jen's here. Jeff, Secret Agent, Michelle. We got all the Patriots in here. All right, folks. Well, today's episode, we're going to be recapping a lot of news that we do in general, and then we'll hop into a little bit of Kamala Harris's speech. It's what you expected. It sucked. She's a terrible person. She has a terrible agenda. She wants to do terrible things. Nobody here's shocked, especially me, because I live in California. And I saw what she did to my state. She ruined it. So if you want to know just kind of a snapshot of what Democrat rule is going to look like going forward here, this is what it will look like.
Let's do this. We are not afraid of you. 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 We are not afraid of you.
Where's the rubber bullets? You know what I mean? Where's the bean bags? Look, I don't care what side of the alley you're on. If you're sitting there pushing up against police officers, is that peaceful protest? I would say no. You don't remember Dog the Bounty Hunter? How he had those paintball guns with like bear mace packed in it? I'm just saying, just go pop, 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 just with bear mace, just like carpet powder the crowd with just mace. You know what I mean? Like, why are we dealing with this stuff? And this is what happens just all across the United States and other areas like we see in London here, where they just are disrespectful to police officers. You know, folks, I want to point out that London is seeing the same issue. And I want to bring that out because how are you doing in London? We have people over there, but it's bad nonetheless. The Democrat Party, it's happening outside of. It's happening outside of various places in London, and across Western culture. And this is what happens when you are lax on consequences, when you're lax on people's actions, because they're going to go out and they're going to do things like this. Except this isn't London. This is the DNC. Just joyful. Joyful, joyful. Yeah. We did it, Joe. Now, that's not the only thing that I want to show there, because Vivek Ramaswamy went out and he was chased out by an angry mob of anti-Israel protesters outside the DNC. And we got a clip and footage of it. And kudos for Vivek for going out there. I have a feeling this guy has to be in the cabinet, right? For the amount of live coverage he's been doing, the speaking engagements he's been doing on behalf of Trump, I have a feeling he has to be, right? Or else why go out and do all these things? I mean, maybe if he's going to start a podcast, I don't know. But he's getting money somewhere from going out and doing all these events. Well, here he is engaging with a guy that wants to see Israel wiped off the face of the earth.
I'm asking you that you have no right to be here if you're not in support of the Palestinian people. Well,
I want to pause it there. You have no right to be here if you're not in support of the Palestinian people. Please understand, folks, they don't carry your values. And it's not just this guy, it's everybody on the left. They don't carry your values of free speech. They don't want to engage in debate. They don't want to engage in who's right, who's wrong, or who has the better ideas or the better philosophy or whatever. They don't want to do any of that. It's their way or the highway. They will come in here and not assimilate to this country. And when they don't assimilate to your country and they start becoming more overpopulated than you as an American citizen, in some cases illegal immigrants are voting, this is when you change the social fabric of your country, and it's torn apart. We got to hold the values, and the values are those First and Second Amendments. They don't believe in the First Amendment. Case in point right here.
Support of the Palestinian people.
Well, I think
And if you're not going to call
Here's what I
for an
believe.
end to
You
a
have the right-
genocide,
you have the right to
if
be
you're
here.
not going to call
So do
for
we
an
in
end
return.
to the genocide and an end to the killing and an end to support of Israel, then you should take off. We don't want you here. You're not welcome here.
Well, the good news is we're America, and so we actually get to all express ourselves.
Really? You
peacefully.
get to express being a racist?
You get to
You get to express
There you
being
go.
a racist Zionist
I
pig?
I
Is
believe
that what you get to express?
I'm pro-American.
You
but I
want to
believe in your
express
right
that?
to speak. I believe in your right to speak your mind.
It just goes to the name calling. I mean, that's all it is. That's how you know this person is a Democrat, or at least tends to vote Democrat. I'm not even saying they're going to vote for Kamala Harris. They probably will because they don't like Trump. You would vote for Trump if you don't want wars, right? I mean, the guy had no wars when he was in office, but all of a sudden, all this stuff's taking place all around the globe with Joe Biden Democrats in office. I would like to point something out. Y'all recall when Dan came in here the other day, and we ripped him a new one because basically he came in here being disrespectful to you guys first, and then he was being disrespectful to me. So we got to teach him a lesson. At no point did I call him. At no point did I ever say, hey, you know what? You're a racist. You're a bigot. You're a xenophobe, right? I don't even think in that entire 6-minute rant that I did, I don't think I ever even called him a name. I said I'd kick your teeth in. I got a metaphorical of like, that's what I'm about to do in terms of words. But I mean, it's astonishing how you don't have to name call, but because they have no evidence of anything, they just sit there and lie about it. And don't worry, we'll get to the killings in Gaza because they manipulated the numbers. They manipulated the numbers in the same way that they manipulated the numbers for the job growth. Oh, there's like 1 trillion jobs. Well, then why did you have to sit there and revise it by negative almost million that we looked at yesterday?
That's a lie. That's a lie.
You're not welcome. Racists aren't welcome.
That's a lie.
Racists aren't welcome here. Racists go home.
Racists go home! Racists go home! Racists go home!
I plug it a lot, but I will say that these are leftists here, right? I have a book here, How the Left is Destroying America. We have a chapter on Antifa, but I carry you through where fascism was formulated through socialism. It was an outgrowth of it. These people do fascist tactics. And in the book, I walk you through those very tactics throughout history and how Antifa and the left mimic those very same tactics of fascism or the fascists. And that's what you're seeing here. One of them has to do with how communities would go door to door and they would push people out. And basically they would try to do exactly what they're doing with Vivek here, racist, bigot, murderer. And because people don't know who some people are, they go, oh my gosh, well, we don't want racists and murderers in our town. We don't want these people. And they would sit there and just lie about them. In many cases, in some areas, out of fear, the media would sit there and back those same slogans or lies about whatever individuals being thrown at of those lies on and being removed. Well, you have a Vivek here again saying, hey, have a spine. Vivek Ramaswamy calls on Kamala Harris to apologize to victims of migrant crime. I absolutely love this. So Vivek Ramaswamy blasted Kamala Harris' record on illegal migration on the final day of the Democrat National Convention, calling her to apologize to family members of victims of migrant crimes. Now, Trump was down there at the border. We'll get to that in a little bit. And actually has people out there talking about the horrific things that happened under the Biden-Harris administration. It's weird that you don't have any Democrats doing that. Do you notice that? Of all the people's families that were shattered because their loved one was killed by an illegal alien, all of a sudden Democrats are completely silent. But yet when Trump had people in cages, which was coming from the Obama administration, AOC was going down there, right? They wanted to get all the cameras down there that they could. You know what I mean? Are they drinking a toilet water? Which they weren't. They were drinking out of fountains, pure, clear American water, being fed greater than some Americans were. So it's a funny how like when it fits their narrative and all of a sudden they want to be righteous and just, they go down there with their cameras. You wouldn't believe the footage that we got of the the pods that these illegal aliens were being stuffed in during COVID-19, they were over capacity by like 2 or 3 times, to the point where they had to ask the CDC to expand the capacity because they were only allowed to have 50% capacity in these pods. I thought we were supposed to have a 6-foot distance rule. Not according to Joe Biden. They were packed in there like sardines, and that's the best way I can express it. Here's Vivek.
Rachel Loren, Kayla Hamilton, Brenda Altman. Those are great law-abiding Americans who were killed by criminals. She says, we're not going to call them criminals. I'll call them there. I'll call them criminals. Who slaughtered law-abiding, good Americans sitting right here. So I challenge Kamala Harris tonight. She's given a speech. She has an opportunity to show herself as a leader of the free world, that she wants to be, the President of the United States of America, to have a spine and to apologize to the family members of Lake and Riley, of Rachel Loren, of Kayla Hamilton, and of Brenda Altman. Look them in the eye through the camera and tell them you apologize for the failed policies, and even more importantly, tell the rest of us what policies you're actually going to adopt to make sure something like that never happens again in this country. And if she does that tonight, I'll disagree with her. I'm not going to vote for her, but I'll give her credit for doing that. But if she doesn't, it will tell you all you need to know about a president who is hiding from in the shadows from an actual policy debate about the future direction of the United States. And I think that job falls on many of you.
He's good, man. He is good. I'm thinking Secretary of State or White House press secretary, one of the two. I mean, the guy could do, I think he can fill any role, really. Phenomenal job by Vivek. And he says it right. She needs to come out, have a spine, and apologize to the American people and apologize to the families for allowing this to happen. And by the way, it's just not those that are murdered or, paralyzed from an illegal alien getting drunk and hitting them with a DUI. It's also the people that are being killed by fentanyl. I mean, we've had over 250,000 Americans dying from fentanyl overdoses, and that doesn't include all the other drugs and types of drugs that are flowing across the border. It doesn't include the munitions that are flowing across the border. It doesn't include the violent gang members that are flowing across the border, also murdering, raping your children. Like, where is the Democrats on this? Because if they cared, they would highlight this. And if it was happening under Republicans in the scope that's happening under Democrats, you're damn right I'd call out Republicans. It's linear logic. For some odd reason, we've turned into like, oh, we're beholden to parties. No, we're not. No, we're not. Michelle says, at Neil, I know I get unsubscribed to Brad's channel at times. I feel you. No notifications again. I that's why we're over at Rumble. I feel you, man. I feel you. I'm gonna start a rant again with YouTube. You guys know how to trigger me. But look, they don't want to solve it. They're not going to solve it. It's only going to get worse under Kamala. She'll pretend like she cares, like she always does. And we saw the clip there yesterday, right, with the Black Caucus of the DNC saying, hey, we need to act normal and calm for now. When it's all over in November, then we can be crazy again. Then we can go back to looting and breaking the law, allowing illegal aliens to pour across the country, having terrible foreign policy, increasing your taxes. Basically, they're manipulating and lying to their own people as well as the American people. Now, what was wild, did you guys see this? You have Vivek talking about the border. Kamala Harris doesn't apologize, which we don't expect apology from Kamala Harris or Joe Biden ever. And Trump is actually down at the border. Amazing. Not even president. He's down there at the border trying to solve the issue. I'm just going to read it. The Arizona man accused of threatening to assassinate former President Donald Trump was arrested by deputies on Thursday. The 66-year-old was nabbed by authorities while Trump was visiting Arizona to address the southern border crisis. News Nation correspondent Ollie Bradley, shout out to the name Bradley, reported this individual who had an outstanding warrant for felony failure to register as a sex offender was charged with a sex offender violation upon his arrest. Bradley reported the 66-year-old man could also be charged for the alleged threats he made towards Trump pending an investigation. Oh, weird. Huh. You guys think who do you think he votes for? Who do you think he's going to vote for? Now, here's the thing. Trump knew nothing about it. He knew nothing about an assassination attempt on his life. Former President Donald Trump admitted on Thursday he had no idea that there was a potential threat posed by a suspect who threatened his life in Arizona. Guess where he was? Arizona. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm telling you they want this guy dead. That's what they want. They're not going. It's not going to end, you guys. Please. I mean, I know you all get this, but if he gets elected president, it's not going to change. It is not going to change. You know what? Does the bulletproof glass make our country look terrible? Absolutely. But you know what? I would rather have that than this man dead. I want Donald Trump to stay alive. I want Donald Trump to be president. And by the way, I don't want any president to be assassinated. I don't care who the hell it is. It's weird how majority of assassinations took place by who? Oh, Democrats. That's correct. Almost all of them, by the way. That's the remarkable thing. But don't worry. The party of peace, the party of joy, right? They don't want violence. Black Lives Matter, ransacking entire cities. Hell, you go back to the Rodney King riots, the LA riots, all Democrat, by the way. They're a common theme, but nobody wants to look at that on that side of the aisle. As I mentioned, if I was a Democrat, I would be an independent. I would not be siding with that party at all. 100% easily independent, shoo-in. Because the Democrat Party is not Democrat anymore. They're progressive. They're a shell of what they used to be. They're just carrying the name. They don't even hold to democracy anymore. So here's Trump. I heard it's dangerous. Sir, it is dangerous. And it scares me that you're out here.
The Daily Mail, today there was a manhunt going on in this county. Somebody made death threats to you. Did you hear about that before coming? No. And what are your thoughts coming down here?
You know what? I think he's wearing a bulletproof vest right now. I'm almost positive those lumps on his shoulders, I think he's wearing a bulletproof vest right now. And good for him if that is true. Good for him.
I've heard it's dangerous, but I also have a job to do. I heard it's very dangerous. I haven't heard about that. They probably want to keep it from me. Thank you for telling me. Let's get out of here right now. No, thank you very much for saying. But no, and I have great respect for Secret Service, the job they do, including a month and a half ago when they were jumping on top of me with bullets flying right at them. So mistakes were made, and they're going to learn from the mistakes. But I have great respect. But no, I haven't heard that, but I'm not that surprised. And the reason is because I want to do things that are very bad for the bad guys. So I have heard it's very unsafe to make this trip. There were some people that really didn't want me to make it. Yeah.
Isn't that sad? And the man still goes out there with the balls. Still goes out there. I heard it was dangerous. Yeah, man. People are trying to kill you left and right, dude. Sad. It's not going to end, you guys. Iran has a hit job out on him. The Iranians want him gone. The Iranians want Kamala Harris back in office. That is not my opinion. They want Kamala Harris back in office. They hacked Trump's campaign. It is wild what we're seeing. Danielle Slater over there, Patriot with the badge. I love that looking badge, Danielle. Tucker and Alex Jones predicted they would try to take Trump out. Absolutely. I mean, what's left? They tried to steal the election, or they did steal the election before, depending on how you want to look at it. They sat there, tried to throw him in jail. They tried to impeach the guy. There is nothing left. They can't stop this man. And that's why that is the only option here, right? That is the only option for them to do it. And I wouldn't put it past our own government to try to do it. And I definitely wouldn't put it past a foreign adversary to try to take him out. And again, I just want to reiterate this. Obviously, you guys know this, but the left tries to plug in, take people out of context. I don't want any president assassinated, let alone the guy that I'm going to vote for. But I don't want that to happen to anybody. And Democrats, I don't really see them speaking out so much about this whole idea that Trump was shot in the freaking head like a month ago. It's just gone. Like it never happened before. All these things just flutter away. Remember, Kamala Harris is getting 84% positive news coverage, if not higher now, from legacy media. Trump was like, what was it? It was like 89% negative or some crazy number. But don't worry, you guys. They're going to take care of everything. They're not just going to take care of the adults, but they're going to take care of the children as well, except, well, they're not going to take care of neither because they also want to show in public schools. They're pushing now on kids hardcore queer theory. Isn't that just lovely? So instead of actually making sure they know how to read and be successful, and actually know how to do mathematics and know history, nope, they don't want to do those things. They want to spend the time, of which we really don't have in the education system, to push hardcore queer theory in health education classes. Oh, goody. With all eyes on Chicago, Democrat, by the way, you're going to see a lot of this in Democrat areas. Parents Defending Education released a report on Wednesday showing that first graders are taught about gender identity. They don't even know what gender is. They couldn't even tell you what identity is. They're first graders. They could barely count. and spell. While fifth graders are instructed about puberty blocker medications that transgender young people may use. Oh. Now, if you want your son or daughter to know these things, what could you do yourself? Yeah, you could educate them yourself. Most educators, you know, people kind of give teachers a bad rap for this. I'm for the parents. I get it, you guys. I'm not for this stuff. I teach math. I want to be left alone. I just want to teach the kids about math. Yeah, there's always a sprinkling of politics and statistics or finance because you're looking at studies, and studies can always be attributed to politics. But if you're spending time teaching fifth graders puberty blocker medications that transgender young people may use, it's a little weird. They go after your children. They want to show them all this stuff. They want to sit there and brainwash them, you guys. This is how you have a factory in education to pump out a bunch of leftists. Guess where we talk about that? In my book, I got a chapter on education. We talk about education, the factory that they're producing all these kids in, and they're going to grow up to be leftists and Democrats. That's why Democrats have had the popular vote for a long time. It's because of the education system manipulating them and pushing certain agendas upon them. And I want to point out, folks, in places like California, you are mandated. You will lose your job. So please, if there's a conservative Republican out there that has to teach about the LGBTQ agenda to the youth, understand, folks, they are mandated to do so. Now, you could say, well, couldn't you just hold your values strong and just quit your job? Well, now you lose your pension, right? You have a family to feed. What do? You're kind of, I mean, all you have is education. You got to find a job that's going to help you leap to that next step forward. Do you actually fill that position in the first place? There's a lot of problems that go along with it. But this is crazy. You could start to see the process where they just slowly inch the kids and nudge them. They nudge them in the direction of queer, hardcore queer theory. That's why by the time you get to fifth grade, you see that they are starting to teach kids about transgenderism and puberty blockers. I've always shared the story when I was in a public school district many, many years ago. We went into a faculty staff meeting, and it was a training on the LGBTQ transgenderism like graph. And you tend to sit in departments. So obviously I was with like the math department, and then the science department usually hangs around the math department because they're hard subjects. We kind of get along with the math and stuff like that. And so the lady passes out these graphs for transgenderism. I'm not exaggerating this one bit. I shared this on ABL's radio show. The science department was like turning it. They didn't know how to read it. They're like turning it upside down. Like, how the fuck does this make sense? And they're talking to one another. And it was just funny because like they had it right side up is the way they're supposed to be, right at the title. And they're like rotating it. Like, how does this even make any sense? None of them walked out of there being more knowledgeable on transgenderism. They all walked out of there more confused because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't. Now, rather than teaching these kids about math and things that matter so that they can be successful, they would rather teach them about how to masturbate, use butt plugs, puberty blockers, hormone enhancers, lop off their genitals, do different sex positions. I'm not making any of this up, by the way. This is all factual stuff. They'll play it in cartoon form for them on how to masturbate correctly at like a third grade level in New Jersey, which we've covered before. We used to talk about this stuff a lot back in the day. Well, now MIT's share of black students plummets after affirmative action struck down. Gee, isn't it obvious that you are enabling people in general, regardless of race, to be let into an institution that they should have never been let into in the first place? Guess where we talk about that? In the book. The reason why is affirmative action places people based on race. And that's why I say it doesn't matter if somebody's black or whatever. It goes across all races. And I'll give you an example. If they don't have enough white quota, well, then they're going to sit there and kind of scrounge at the bottom of the barrel for somebody that meets the quota of being white, and they'll just let them in. And then they're not going to be successful. So they're going into these university systems, and the left never talks about this, that they can't compete. So case in point, you have a black person that should have never got into MIT in the first place. Doesn't mean that they're not really, really smart. They're just not smart to the level of MIT. Maybe go to NYU or USC or something. And what happens is they go into like, say, the engineering department. They have no business to be able to compete against everybody else in the engineering department, and the content's really hard. So guess what happens to their grades? It fails, and they flunk out, and they have to sit there and transition to another college or university, or a lot of times they sit there and switch majors, and most often it's liberal arts, because liberal arts is easier than science, math, engineering, technology, computer science, business like accounting. It's easier. I get it. I'm sorry if you're a liberal arts major. It's easier. It is. Now, what happened here was The incoming freshman class this fall is only 5% black, down from an average of 13% in recent years. Now, this might only get worse across the board for everybody. You're going to see a bunch of scrambling of numbers because a lot of these university systems are bringing back the SAT and ACT, which is almost basically an IQ test to see if they can really get in. Hispanics is also down 11%. And folks, previously 25% of MIT undergraduates were black and Hispanic, Native American Pacific Islander. It dropped 16%. The reason why is because the grades just aren't there. It has nothing to do with their race. Maybe it has to do with their social, their milieu, their culture they were raised in. We don't know, but that's what we're seeing now. And it might just get worse. I mean, Asians and Indians or Indian Americans are just out competing everybody across the board. So why wouldn't people look and see, well, what are the Asian cultures doing? There's many, right? There's Japanese, right? There's Korean, Chinese. Like, there's all these different Asian cultures. Why don't you look to see what those cultures are doing in the household so that you can mimic it in your household so your son or daughter, regardless of race, can be successful? Huh, go figure how that one might work out. Gee, take a hold of your child's education. You are the number one educator in your child's life. It is not the teacher. Again, I'm going to rephrase that again. The teacher is not the number one educator. The parent is. We give the content, regardless of whether the student listens or not. We still teach the content, and guess what you go home and do? You practice the content. So guess what? You can be successful at the content that was given. And if they're not doing it, I'm not the parent. I want them to do it, but that's for another episode, another time. Now, as I mentioned, you remember that guy that was saying, "You're not welcome here." This guy. You're not welcome here, you racist. You freaking xenophobe of what do you say? What wasn't xeno? It was a Zionist pig, is what he called him. A Zionist pig. Well, he goes, oh, all these people are dying. There's a lot of people dying in Gaza, but just want to point this out that 80 media outlets issued corrections on Associated Press story that inflated Gaza civilians' death toll. Gee, who's been talking about this for a long time? That the numbers were probably inflated because a lot of people are getting numbers from Hamas. Hamas is the one that attacked the Israelis that doesn't like them and wants to wipe them off the face of the earth. So why would you sit there and take the numbers from them? More than 80 media outlets were forced to issue a correction after running an Associated Press story that alleged 40,000 civilians had been killed in Gaza, which is a lot, by the way. An August 18th AP story said that Vice President Kamala Harris has been vocal about the need to protect civilians in the Israeli-Hamas war, and that the civilian death toll has now exceeded 40,000. Just a question, folks. I always ask this. We're not the only country. Where is everybody else at on this? Like, why are we being to blame? Because we're supporting Israel? Is that like the only reason why we're to blame? If other countries were so concerned about the death toll, why are they not stepping in? Like, why are they not flying the planes in and building piers and trying to get trucks in themselves? Like, do you notice that? It's primarily us. It's weird, but don't worry. All the other countries around the area that also want to see Israel wiped off the face of the earth, why are they not taking in the Palestinians? So you raise these types of questions. The reason why is because those terrorists that are now seeping into the Palestinian people that are for Hamas, that are blending in, are now going to go into the other countries, and they're scared that the people that are blending in with the Palestinians are going to sit there and commit a terrorist attack in the country that you let the refugee in. And guess who wants to let refugees into our country, of which what I said was the pier being built for? Other than humanitarian aid. Yeah, Joe Biden wanted to allow that, and Kamala Harris. So look at this. Not even Hamas has alleged more than 40,000 Palestinian civilians in Gaza have been killed in the war. Depends where you get that information from. Between Israel and the terror organization. While Hamas-controlled Ministry of Health in Gaza has reported over 40,000 total deaths among Gazan residents, its data does not distinguish between civilians and combatants. There you go. Meanwhile, Israel is saying over 40,000 of those killed are Hamas combatants. So you have a lot of people that are dying. I mean, it is terrible what's happening there. War is terrible. Joe Biden and the Democrats clearly love war because look what's going on. And Trump, we don't want war. I don't want to go there and fight on behalf of somebody else's country. I'll fight on behalf of American, the flag in this country and its values, but not for some other country. You got to figure out your own stuff. So you got that taking place. And well, now we're going to transition into night 4 of the DNC, and thank the Lord it's over. Dude, a cringe fest, clown show, bunch of lies, endless lies. And well, speaking of lies, Kamala spent years lying to our faces that the border was secure. and everybody else that was around her, the entire Democrat Party, the apparatus, the intelligence community, the leaders of the departments.
Testimony that the border is secure.
The president have worked very, very hard to implement a strategy when it comes to the border that is humane, safe, and has orderly enforcement.
Things are going at the border, sir.
Much better than you all expected.
We have a secure border in that is a priority for any nation, including ours and our administration.
We have responded with a model approach that has proven to work.
We have taken unprecedented action over the past year and a half to secure our border.
And we have a process in place to manage migrants at the border. We're working to make sure it's safe and orderly and humane.
The border is closed.
We agree that the border is secure.
We're executing a comprehensive strategy to secure our borders.
One of our highest priorities is to ensure that we have a secure border, and that is what we are doing.
We are stopping the flow at the border.
The border is secure.
It's a remarkable thing that Democrats believe this. I know. Believe it or not, they will look at this and be like, it was edited. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. But cheap fakes. This isn't real. I don't believe anything you're telling me because you're a Republican. You Zionist pig. Like, come on, give me a break, man. Give me a break. Eric Birch, I see you, brother. I think I missed that a long time ago. He said, good morning, Patriot family, with the $5. Thank you so much, sir. And he has the badge. It's looking good. He donated last couple days too, man. Thank you so much, dude. That's really nice of you. Greatly appreciated. And hopefully I didn't miss anybody over at Rumble. I don't think I did. Thank you guys for always contributing to the show. You know me. I really do appreciate that. Unlike Kamala Harris, she just wants to steal your money. That's all it is. Let's talk about this, folks. It's been a while since we gave them a plug, but it's called Positive. No, not Positive. No, it's Positive, PAW. If you have a dog, well, we've all been there. Our pup goes from full-on energy, doing the zoomies, to sick and miserable in an instant. And at the end, and at the worst of times, they end up, getting really, really ill. And it's sad, like cancer and all these other things. Well, we're calling vets in the middle of the night or on weekends, trying to find a clinic that will take them in. It's a terrible way to manage your dog's health, not to mention your stress levels and your monthly budget. Look, their man's best friend is not just dogs, but it's cats as well, folks. It's a family member. And that's why you should have a pet emergency kit by Positive. It contains critical medications and supplies that not only keep you out of the veterinary office, but may even save your dog's life. Their kits contain critical medications like activated charcoal, septic powder, and more. It might save your dog's life. Head over there to positive.com and use code STUDIO. Always code STUDIO to get 15% off your pet emergency kit. I've had many pets in my life. I don't know how many dogs and cats I've had. 10 dogs, 8 cats maybe. Yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a lot. Make sure you take care of your animals, folks. Really sad stuff. But with that being said, here she is, lying about Ukraine. And not just lying. Here's the queen of lies, folks. Kamala Harris. Here she is. I want you to listen to this. I just want you to listen to this. She is so stupid. She is so stupid. Just listen to what she says about Ukraine.
So Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically, that's wrong. So Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is...
Yo, I'm out of breath. Just so stupid. I really need to get a Kamala Harris impression. It's hard because I'm a guy, you know what I mean? But maybe I should buy a wig. I'll put it on, you know what I mean? And get the earrings and the cackle and just the idiotic phrases and not know what the hell's going on like her boss, Joe Biden. What's weird? Here's a really weird thing. I just want to take a moment here. When she was the DA of California, honestly, she was not this dumb. I don't know if these people take drugs while they're in office to stay like alert, like cocaine that we found in the White House, or are they drinking a lot to where it's like messing them up? But basically last night she She's giving Biden's eulogy at the DNC. Here she was.
To our President Joe Biden.
Why are they all stoked about Joe? You kicked them out. You weren't even going to vote for him. Fuck yeah, Joe, we love you. Woo! Like, what? They're all chanting for the guy. You hate him. What the hell are you talking about?
When I think about the path that we have traveled together, Joe, I am filled with gratitude. Your record is extraordinary, as history will show.
I mean, there's some truth to that. It is extraordinary. Broke multiple records. I think if you count up the records that he broke for like just illegal immigration alone, I think it is more Olympic medals than Michael Phelps. I mean, Joe Biden, even on his job growth, you guys, he's created millions of jobs just across the southern border there. Drug cartel, sex trafficking, child trafficking, slavery, right? Forced labor trafficking. He's increased billions for the cartel. I mean, the cartel have to love Joe. The cartel just love Joe.
And your character is inspiring. And Doug and I love you and Jill and are forever thankful to you both.
Well, yeah, because he sat there and took knives in the back from his entire party that he devoted his entire life for. There is rumors. I don't know if it's going to happen. There was rumors that I've heard from Dan Bongino and other news outlets that Joe could potentially sabotage going out of office Kamala Harris. Now, how that's going to unravel, I don't know. Could that be people planted in Kamala's administration that's going to leak a bunch of stuff? Who knows? But I'm so proud and I'm grateful in the gratitude that you showed me in our party. History is going to show that you were one of the best presidents ever. Yeah, you know what? Maybe it will, because Democrats love that Howard Zinn revisionist history. Case in point, Republicans are the racists. That's why when they teach history a lot of times, you guys, they don't really focus on the idea that it was the Democratic South and parts of the Democratic North going against the entire Republican North to basically rid slavery, get rid of it. And they don't want to highlight the fact that it was Democrats that wanted slavery. They don't highlight that. They keep it vague, right? It was a North versus South, is a lot of times they use now in the education system, because a lot of the teachers that are teaching this stuff, well, it makes their own party look bad, and it might make them feel a little bit guilty. You know what I mean? Just a little bit. So she claims here, I told you, she's the Queen of Lies. It was the title, right? That's in the thumbnail today. Queen of Lies. I fight against cartels. Folks, Kamala allowed drug cartels to wage war on America, steal innocent lives, and ravage our communities with deadly drugs. And she's going to sit there and tell us people, I was harsh on them. The border's the cure. The border's the cure.
I fought against the cartels who traffic in guns and drugs and human beings, who threaten the security of our border and the safety of our communities.
When? You were letting illegal aliens out. You were letting them out. And then they were committing crimes, Kamala. We've covered the stories here. These people all believe it. She's so great. Holding the Kamala signs. Give me a break. So, Kamala Harris literally spent lying to our faces about the border and saying that it was secure. You even saw a clip earlier that she did. Let me find that right here. I just want to make sure I highlight that grab. Make sure this is the right spot. We're getting a spinning wheel of death. The border's secure. We have a secure border. You see the print there. Give me a break, Kamala. Freaking liar. That's all she does is lie. And so, remember how I said, can we bring the receipts for a second then? Let me pull this up for you guys real quick. You know, a lot of times I'm able to not pull stuff. I'm able to pull stuff up quick for you, but sometimes I'm not able to. Let me get to it here. Yeah, no, she says she was harsh on illegal immigrants. Let me make sure I got this here. Sorry, folks. There we go. Kamala Harris picked a legal migrant for a jobs program who brutally attacked women while she was in San Francisco DA. Hold on, you guys. Hey, whoa, hey. Just want to make sure I got this right here.
I fought against the cartels who traffic in guns and drugs and human beings, who threaten the security of our border and the safety of our community.
Weird, because that didn't actually happen. Raised in Canada, not Californian. Political career started in prison, over 200 blacks for minor drugs. Descendant of Hamilton Brown, who was part of slavery as well. It keeps getting worse for her here. She sat there and allowed this to happen, but we don't want to talk about that. She also sat there and allowed illegal immigrants to roam free in the streets, but we don't want to talk about that either. Not only does she want to do that, but she also wants to give those illegal immigrants free health care. None of you get free health care.
Also says, quote, every individual who is a resident of the United States is entitled to benefits for health care services under this act. Not every individual who's a citizen, but every individual who's a resident. So you support giving universal health care, Medicare for all, to people who are in this country illegally?
Let me just be very clear about this. I am opposed to any policy that would deny in our country any human being from access to public safety, public education, or public health, period.
Also says, quote,
no. Free health care. Isn't that just nice? We're $35 trillion in debt. Can't even pay for our own veterans' health care. She wants to pay for illegal immigrants. And it's not just that. Before, the Democrat Party should be really quiet about this. They didn't really want to release their agenda, even though we called this out. Go back to my old videos over 3.5 years ago. And I said their plan is to allow as many illegal aliens during Joe Biden's tenure as possible, and then sit there and use amnesty. And I think part of the amnesty agreement's going to be that Democrats are going to say, hey, as long as you give these people amnesty and a pathway forward to citizenship, we'll let you build the wall. And we're already moving in that direction. We're already moving in that direction. Well, here she was last night, basically saying she wants to give amnesty to illegal aliens.
We can create an earned pathway to citizenship and secure our border. We can create an earned pathway to citizenship and secure our border.
Notice that the way that they worded that. Remember, you guys, these are speechwriters. They sit in there and craft every word very carefully. Pathway to citizenship and secure a border. Notice it wasn't secure the border and have a pathway to citizenship. It's not the borders is second in terms of the list. It's mass amnesty because the Democrat Party knows that they're about to inherit 30 million votes. You will never see a sitting Republican president in your lifetime again. That's the agenda. They know what they're doing. They're breaking the laws to do it. They're allowing illegal aliens to vote. And Democrats are saying, that's illegal. That's illegal. No shit, it's illegal. No, duh. We all know it's illegal. But you guys do a lot of illegal things. That's breaking the law, Brad. Yeah. How do we know that it actually works? Dan Bongino just this week broke the law and did it. And what I mean by that is he made a fake ID that didn't even look like him. And he went into the polls in Florida and goes, hey, what do you think of this? And he showed the lady the ID and she goes, is that really you? And he goes, yes, sir. And she goes, okay. And he just went in and voted. They don't even check IDs. In California, they do not check IDs. I always take out my wallet. Where are you from? What zip code? You know, all these things, right? Because you got to vote for your local area as well. And I say, ma'am, is it okay if I still show you my ID to show proof I am who I am? You don't have to do that. I'm like, no, I feel comfortable. I know I don't have to, but I want to make sure you know it's actually me. Here's the thing, though. You show them the driver's license. Doesn't matter in the state of California because guess who gets driver's license? Illegal aliens. They don't want to look at any of this. But hold on. I was told Kamala Harris is going to be harsh on the border. No, you heard it from the horse's mouth. You heard it from her, you guys. No, I'm going to play it one more time. I got a connection here I want to make. Here we are.
I fought against the cartels who traffic in guns and drugs and human beings.
Weird. Okay. Well, can you explain this one then to all of us, Kamala? Can you just explain that to us? Let's see here. Backed bail funds set loose criminals who went on to be hit with murder, DUI death, and arson charges. Huh. Oh, but she said that she was harsh on them, guys. Kamala Harris's public support for controversial bail fund continues to haunt her as more examples of crimes committed by those who were released was secured by the name of social justice. Oh, the Minnesota Freedom Fund paid bail for an assailant who turned killer a week later, a habitual DUI driver who crashed and killed a passenger after the fund freed him, and a serial arsonist who attempted to burn down a mosque. The vice president had thrown her weight behind the fund in 2020 during the height of the riots over the George Floyd death. Remember how Donald Trump's a felon? How could you support a felon? You guys burned down cities for a felon. You have fucking monuments, statues for the guy. I don't think he should have died, but you're sitting there. They can't see the hypocrisy. So this fund, endorsed by other celebrities, raised more than $41 million that year, but questions have been raised about how it makes decisions about who to bail out. So if they're questioning who makes the decisions, and Kamala Harris was part of somewhat of that decision-making to put the plan in place in the first place, weird, huh? But don't worry, guys. She's telling truth. She's not the queen of lies. She's the queen of truth. She's, what's it called? Brat? She's brat. Ooh. Terrible. Now, she goes on. It's just all lies, you guys, by the way. I guess I could have just played her entire speech, but I don't want to subject you for an entire hour of her. I figured these little tidbits of like, hey, we're listening to her live for about 12 seconds and then we're out again. You know what I mean? You don't want to be in the ish, the doo-doo, the caca for too long. Kamala says she wants to create an opportunity economy where everyone has a chance to succeed. Well, you told us, Kamala, you told us your communist Marxist agenda. Oh, you did. You said you want equal outcome, not equal opportunity. No. She said equal outcome. The only way to do that, the only way that's ever been done is by force, meaning she's going to decide that other people are going to get your money to bring them up a level and ultimately make you even. So you could be up here and they're down here right now. Well, they're going to steal your money and give it to them. So it's like this. That's how it works. The one thing a communist and socialist will never take from you is your job, because they need your money. Always remember that. They need your money.
That's why we will create what I call an opportunity economy where everyone has the chance to compete and a chance to succeed.
I expect the lies. It's the people that in the crowd, I highlight this all the time, folks. I'm very aware and cognizant that I repeat myself. It really is just astounding to me that they're all sitting there and there's no connection to what she's done in the past, like whatsoever. If she was going to do this, she would have already done it. Why would you have not done it if you've been in all the meetings with Biden? By the way, by you allowing, Kamala, all these illegal aliens to come into the country, well, there's people like Rachel Morin, there's also people like Lake and Riley that don't get that opportunity that you're giving everybody else. Why? Because they're dead, Kamala, because you didn't lock up the border. They're dead, 6 feet into the ground by an illegal alien because you didn't want to secure the border and lied to all of us, just like you lied to us about Joe Biden's mental health, which nobody clearly wants to bring up to her because who can? She doesn't take any interviews. Well, they didn't get an opportunity just like all these other illegal aliens are doing. Why? Because they put illegal aliens first, doesn't matter where they're from, over actual citizens. Oh, we're going to give everybody an opportunity. You mean the same opportunity where the government was outcompeting the private sector during COVID, when you pumped the economy full of trillions of dollars and then ragged on Republicans as well as Trump for not wanting to put that in place because, I don't know, maybe it would cause all the problems we have today in the economy. Maybe it would cause, people to sit there and stay at home and not go back to work, which hurts the economy. Maybe it would cause people to have other various outgrowths of those problems, like maybe inflation, not able to afford things right now because everything's across the board about 20% up. Everybody's just, woo, this is great. She's gonna fix it. Look at that. Ooh, she's great. Look at first black president, Indian, whatever you want to call her. I'll turn the cheek on that one. We don't know. Tiresome. People roam the earth, folks. They're walking amongst us. I'm telling you, it's like the night of the living dead. Now, she says a shameless lie here. And you might be like, well, Brad, they've been all lies. Correct. That's what I told you. Yeah, they're going to be all lies. Here's another one. This one's If you have kids in the car, plug your ears. This one's fucking insane.
Well, instead of a Trump tax hike, we will pass a middle-class tax cut. Well,
I told you it was insane, and I think that one deserved the F word. I think it did. Let me know in the chat. I think that deserved the F word. That is wild. You couldn't get more of a blatant lie. And the fact that these people are sitting there salivating, oh, Trump's going to sit there and increase my taxes. There's a video of her Democrats wanting to increase your taxes 70, 90%. They're removing the Trump's tax cuts, you idiots. Not you viewers. Patriots, you get it. Democrats, they're removing the Trump tax cuts, not hikes. You are saving money. 3% on average. I'm playing it again.
Well, instead of a Trump tax hike, we will pass a middle-class tax cut.
Do it again, Brad, and I'll send a super chat. I can't be bought, Bruce. I can't be bought. It was a fucking lie. All right, maybe I can be bought a little bit. But in all seriousness, you guys, they think Trump's going to increase taxes. They think Trump is going to be the worst. I know that we're looking at it going like, well, what's the issue here in terms of the Democrats believing this stuff? Because they're going to vote her in the office. And then we get screwed. We're all struggling to pay our bills anyways. I think it was Miriam wrote in a comment. She said she started, I think it was Miriam, started her second job. And, you know, we're all working multiple jobs here to pay the bills. And Democrats must love working a lot, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. You thought that one was bad. If you thought that one was bad, oh, I got another one for you. I kind of saved the good ones for the end. How could I not? I got to kind of reel you in. You know what I mean? Kind of like Joe Biden keeps doing with Kamala Harris, not letting her get away from like all his economy and his failures. Come on, Kamala. Come on, you're a big girl. Yeah, there she is. I see color. That's a reference, by the way. That was not a racial joke. That is actually a deep sea fishing reference. If anybody is a deep sea fisherman, when you see the fish coming up, you tend to see color, and it lets the gaffer know to kind of get ready. I see color. It's coming up. Now, I realized as I said that she says that she's black and Indian. Okay. Just want to clarify that that wasn't a pun. So. Oh, no. You get it. You get it.
After decades in law enforcement, I know the importance of safety and...
Hold on a second. Bruce did it. Bruce actually got it. Can we just recognize it for a second, Bruce? Bruce, I hand to God, I really wasn't doing it so that you would sit there and donate, but thank you for the $10 nonetheless. I have fun with you guys. Thank you, Bruce, for the $10. Really, now you guys are all going to think, oh, Brad can be bought. Look at him. Look at him. He's our puppet like Joe is to the Democrat Party and the elites. Thank you, Bruce. That's really kind of you, man. I greatly appreciate it. That's not happening again, by the way. I cannot be bought. Let's start it over. Here's the lie.
After decades in law enforcement, I know the importance of safety and security, especially at our border.
I told you it was bad. I told you it was bad. Yeah, there you go, cowboy. Now, I can't say that on YouTube because, well, you know what will happen to me. But I agree with you.
I know the importance of safety and security, especially at our border.
Again, illegal aliens are killing Americans all across the board. Can we just get to this one here? Now, listen to Trump. Listen to Trump. This is Rachel Morin's mom at the border talking about her daughter. Just listen to Trump, though. He's kind of on a hot mic here, but it really lets you see the type of man Trump is. I know we all know this, but I'm not going to play the whole thing, but just listen to a piece of this. I'm going to start becoming a mess myself. This is Democrats. Democrats cause this. I'm not going to get pissed. Democrats cause a lot of problems. Some of them are waking up a little bit. One of them is Gavin Newsom here.
How did California get so much homelessness? I mean, because of our own policies and neglect. We put up our feet and we rested on our laurels.
Yeah, it would have been nice that you actually listened to Republicans, you fucking idiot. Sorry, but he is. That guy, he's one of the worst people in government. This guy's an idiot. People still voted for him. Destroyed an entire state. Oh, well, we were on our the laurels. Freaking idiot. Oh, yeah, it's because of our policies. No, duh. We've all been doing shows here. A lot of conservatives fled from California telling you, you idiot, that your stupid policies are driving this country into the ground. And it's their policies, like in Oregon, where now they're giving $30,000 for new home buyers. The only requirement, you can't be an American citizen.
Taxpayer-funded group is offering $30,000 to new home buyers. Lauren, you cannot apply if you're an American citizen. What's with that?
Why would an American citizen apply for a taxpayer-funded program to get $30,000 for a new home? I mean, it's wild. The group is called Hacienda.
I'm glad they use the same words as I do. It's wild, because how else can you describe this stuff? It's wild. Kamala Harris wants to exacerbate this issue. The Democrats want to sit there again. You're a second-class citizen in your own country. It is what it is. And you know what? If they're elected for another 4 years, it's only going to get worse. And I said this before, and it was also in the rant with Dan when he was in there. Mind you guys, we have subscribers that are also the name Dan. So just because you see the guy's name Dan in the chat, just know that it might not be the Dan that we ripped a new one with. We got Dans here that actually are members, by the way. So just be careful, okay, Patriots? I want to make sure, because Dan left a comment, the good Dan. He goes, I am the good Dan. I'm not the bad Dan. There's different Dans. But that's what they're doing. So Kamala Harris is going to allow illegal aliens to kill people's daughters, rape people's children, and allow it to only get worse, and then offer them $30,000 for a new home. All the while we can't even afford a home. Brad, I check in here for the positive energy. Keep it up, friend. A little humor in order right about now. Yeah, absolutely, Bruce. I love it, man. You guys bring the humor. I try to bring the energy. I got to do that. I get souped up on coffee. You know what I mean? I'm like Chris Farley. Or I guess now I'm more like Tim Walsh, right? That psycho just, oh, hey, everybody. Guy's a weirdo. Well, you know, how do we get souped up? You guys know this. Might as well do it. Bruce led me into doing it. I am a little bit here hyped up, and I get that because we drink 1775 coffee here, folks. But we also, have you ever heard of the recent advertising scandal? Well, let me break it down for you. CEO Rumble, Chris Pavlovski, recently released an email from Inspired Brands and Dunkin' Donuts. The email recently states the right-wing culture of Rumble is being polarizing. In other words, Dunkin' Donuts has a problem with right-wing culture and wants nothing to do with it or Rumble. So here's the solution. Stop buying products that don't support you and start supporting brands that ultimately support you. Like you guys support me. That's why you give your hard-earned money here to the show, because we have the same values. The competing coffee brand that we all need to get behind is Rumble 1775 coffee, baby. And Jerry bought it. Jerry sent me an email over the weekend, and I saw it. He got that medium roast. For a limited time, Rumble is offering buy 2 bags of coffee and get one free. Go to 1775coffee.com and enter promo code Duncan. A little slap in the face to Dunkin' Donuts to get this limited time deal. Absolutely love it. And look, folks, we're here every morning together. You might as well get that third pack of coffee free because you're going to be drinking it with me here. And hopefully a Bald Brad Show mug. Well, with that being said, folks, that is the show. That is the show for the entire week. I will always be here with you, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Friday, weekdays, with a sprinkling of politics over the weekend. If you're a new member here, or heck, a new viewer, and you feel like we deserved your subscription, hit that like and subscribe button. If you're not getting notifications on YouTube, follow me over at Rumble. Rumble does a great job of notifying viewers when we go live within like 3 minutes of going live. So head over there. But if not, you guys, again, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's been a while since we missed a show. So 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time weekdays, and you should find me here. So just search Bald Brad. You'll see me come up. And with that being said, Patriots, take care of one another. Pray for all those that have passed from illegal immigration and their families, because they're going through some really rough times. And I will see you later here on the Bald Brad Show. Take care, Patriots.